Good evening and welcome to All 24 News. I'm Karim Zachary, your host for tonight's World News program. Let's delve into the latest stories. Palestinian resistance frees 13 Israelis, including 4 foreigners, amidst the second batch of prisoner release after delay. Also coming up on day second of Gaza truce, Palestinians aren't backing down. They thwart forced displacement amidst warnings of famine despite relief aid convoy. Can they pull it through? Let's find out together. Biden's thinking truce extension. South Africa's calling out apartheid, and global protests for Palestine are taking the street. What's got the world buzzing? Also up next. And Russia unleashes drone onslaught in Kiev, 71 down, and Moscow braces for counterattack. Buckle up, viewers. The showdown is about to take an unexpected turn. Get ready for an intense roller coaster of updates. Don't change that channel. Hello again and welcome to the program. First, an in-depth look at the unfolding events in the occupied Palestinian territories. In the latest development, Qatar confirms release of 13 Israeli hostages and 4 foreigners from Gaza Strip. Israel now is expected to free 39 Palestinian prisoners. The transfer on the second day of 4-day truce was delayed for hours after Hamas allegations that Israel was violating truce deal earlier. The Palestinian resistance has delayed the release of the second batch of prisoners, urging the Zionist occupation's adherence to the terms of the agreement, specifically regarding the entry of relief trucks into the northern Gaza Strip and criteria for releasing Palestinian prisoners. The Palestinian resistance also accused the Zionist occupation of violating the armistice agreement, posing a serious threat to its completion. The recent release of prisoners from Zionist occupation prisons brought joy to many Palestinian families, seen as a triumph for resistance. Yet, amidst a temporary truce, displaced Palestinians returned to their homes in Gaza. Scenes in Khan Yunis and Jabalia revealed heartbreaking destruction from 7 weeks of relentless Zionist bombings. The details are laid out by Usama Ayadi in this report.
Liberated prisoners have emerged from the cold confines of the Zionist occupation's prisons, reuniting with families and loved ones. The air, heavy with the weight of the harrowing incarceration, now carries the echoes of joy, though overshadowed by the ongoing tragedy in Gaza, a land scarred by a genocide in the making that has left civilians reeling.
It's an indescribable feeling. Thank God I am with my family and with my mother and father. This means the world to me. Thank God anyway.
Kusai Hani, after enduring a year and 4 months in captivity, steps into the warm embrace of his mother and father on the second day of the prisoner swap between the Zionist occupation and Hamas resistance. Amidst the family's jubilation, Gaza's recent harrowing genocides cast a somber hue on their happiness. Kusai's mother, while expressing her relief, can't help but acknowledge the pervasive pain felt throughout Gaza, especially by the children who bore the brunt of this genocide.
In Palestine, our joy is not complete. We are happy that our children are released, but our joy is not complete. First of all, our families, children, and beloved ones in Gaza are full of blood. At the end, we were very happy for our children, but there was a price we paid.
Simultaneously, from the heart of the Jabalia camp, hundreds of Palestinians embark on a poignant journey home, propelled by humanitarian truce that grants them passage after weeks of forced displacement due to violent Zionist aggression. Yet as they return, the landscape is a canvas of devastation. Towns in the Gaza Strip wear the scars of widespread destruction, while families confronting the harsh reality of what once was their homes.
When they said there is a truce, we came to see our homes. We came to this, as you see, complete destruction. Everywhere, as you see. The house is destroyed everywhere. Till when will we stay like this? Till when will we suffer from destruction?
Amidst the heartbreaking scenes, Palestinians, women, men, and children alike stoically salvage what remains, a testament to their indomitable determination and resilience. The second day of the truce witnesses displaced Palestinians streaming back into both southern and northern Gaza, underscoring an unwavering Palestinian steadfastness in the face of the Zionist attempt to hollow out Gaza of its people.
Day 2 of the Gaza truce witnessed a powerful scene as hundreds of Palestinians eagerly rushed to return to their homes. This poignant display underscores their unwavering commitment to their land and resolute determination to thwart the Zionist entity's plans for a displacement catastrophe. Here's Islam Sid, who will share the details.
In the Gaza Strip, where the echoes of Zionist aggression still linger, a 4-day humanitarian truce has woven a fragile tapestry of hope. As the sun sets on the war-torn horizon, a poignant journey unfolds. Displaced Palestinians laden with belongings traverse the desolation, a symbolic defiance against yet another migration plan orchestrated by the Zionist government.
Honestly, it is a nice feeling for one to be able to go back home after all this time, to see their families and loved ones.
Since the ominous inception of the Zionist aggression, these resilient families have known only the harsh embrace of tents and sought refuge in the hollowed halls of Arwa schools. Some forced by circumstance turned the very streets of Gaza into an open-air sanctuary. The 4-day respite beacons them to forsake the transient shelters and embark on a pilgrimage homeward.
I'm now very happy. I feel at ease. I'm going back to my home. Our hearts are rested, especially that there is a 4-day official ceasefire. Better than returning to life in tents. I'm very tired from sitting here without food or water. There we can live. We drink tea, make bread using fire and the oven.
Mohammed Shbir, a Palestinian father surviving in a tented adobe in Khan Yunis, recounts the harrowing saga of his family's endurance amidst the glaring absence of life's essentials, a dire plight accentuated for his tender offspring. The temporary ceasefire becomes a fleeing window, offering respite for these beleaguered families to reunite or reclaim the fragments of their fractured neighborhoods.
Out of the suffering I encounter, I'm putting some lentils for the boy instead of baby formula. This is the suffering I'm living. The boy is drinking lentils. Where's the world which listens to us?
Even as skepticism shrouds the occupiers' commitment to the humanitarian truce and ominous warnings echo against the return of forcibly uprooted Palestinians to the northern reaches of Gaza, Mohammed stands resolute in the face of doubt. He, like many Gazans, clings tenaciously to the right of return, an unwavering commitment to reclaim what has been lost.
I want to go back home. I'm not comfortable here. I never wished one day to live in this atmosphere. I was comfortable back home. I would stay home even if it's destroyed.
The Palestinians, by clasping tightly to their ancestral lands, despite the scepter of genocide, resoundingly reject the insidious displacement schemes crafted to smother the birth of a Palestinian state. Through their steadfast resistance, they articulate a collective refusal to allow the settling of their plight, an assertion echoing across the war-ravaged landscape, a pledge to endure and persist until the very end.
The Palestinian Red Crescent confirmed 61 trucks laden with food relief aid are en route to Gaza Strip. This convoy, the largest heading to northern regions since the onset of Zionist aggression, brings some hope amidst looming threats of famine, coupled with shortages of medicine, treatment, food and water. The report is narrated by Zahra Fajani.
Despite the hopeful dawn of a humanitarian truce in the Gaza Strip last Friday, the specter of catastrophe looms large, refusing to dissipate. The harsh reality persists. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are still on the brink of famine after more than a month and a half of the complete Zionist siege. From Jabalia to the southern reaches of Khan Yunis, the young faces of children paint a sad picture. At the crack of dawn, they form patient queues in front of water stations that miraculously withstood the barrage of bombings. Their quest for safe drinking water, a daily struggle.
Beit Hanun is destroyed. We are displaced. We came here to seek refuge in schools. Every day since we get up to pray Al-Fajr, the bombing starts. We went 3 or 4 hours to drink water, but there isn't any. Our families died and became martyrs.
In the Rafah crossing, south of the Gaza Strip, another scene of suffering unfolds. Thousands of Palestinians, forcibly displaced from the north, weave through endless queues, a testament to their resilience as they strive to secure gas for cooking. The first trucks laden with fuel, crossing over from the Egyptian border, bring a semblance of relief to their arduous journey.
No one can cook except with gas, and we hope that gas will reach us in the next 2 days. We heard that 85 tons were supplied to the Gaza Strip, so all those here hope that gas will reach us so that our coming will be easy.
Yet in the face of monumental emergency needs, aid remains a scarce resource in this besieged sector. 18 years of isolation have cast a long shadow, accumulating manifestations and rates of poverty, resulting in an unparalleled humanitarian catastrophe. The struggle for survivors in Gaza persists, a stark reminder that the wounds of the conflict run deep, etched into the very fabric of the region's history.
The World Health Organization has voiced deep concern over the fate of Mohammed Abu Salmiya, the director of a Shifa hospital in Gaza, who was apprehended by Zionist occupation forces last Tuesday. The WHO revealed its lack of information regarding Abu Salmiya's situation as he was taken into custody alongside 5 other health workers during their participation in a United Nations-led mission aimed at evacuating patients. The international community awaits updates on the well-being and status of those detained amid growing apprehension and calls for their immediate release. For its part, the Palestinian Ministry of Health declared on Saturday the full evacuation of the Indonesian hospital and ongoing efforts to evacuate remaining patients from the Shifa medical complex. Expressing the severity of the situation, spokesman Ashraf Al-Qudra conveyed that the recently received medical aid proved inadequate, describing the health conditions in the Gaza Strip as catastrophic. He highlighted a collapse of all health components, emphasizing the urgent need for increased and sustained medical assistance. Tensions flared in Jenin as 2 Palestinians were injured by live bullets when Zionist forces forcefully entered the city. The Khalil Suleiman governmental and Ibn Sina hospitals were besieged, escalating the situation further. Reports indicate a multi-directional entry of occupation forces with snipers on rooftops and reconnaissance aircraft, adding to the heightened concern in the region. On Saturday evening, clashes erupted near the Ofar military prison west of Ramallah as Zionist occupation forces confronted Palestinians awaiting the release of detainees. Live bullets and poison gas bombs injured 3 Palestinians, including a child. In Qabatea, south of Jenin, tragedy struck as Palestinian doctor Shamikh Kamal was murdered, and 2 others, including his brother Muhammad, were injured due to gunfire from Zionist forces during the town storming in Beit Umar, north of Al-Khalil. Clashes unfolded after Zionist forces entered the town. A 16-year-old child was shot in the feet during confrontations near the Karmait Zur settlement, leading to his hospitalization. The Palestinian Prisoners Club reported that the Zionist occupation forces conducted a series of arrests, rounding up 17 Palestinians on Friday night into Saturday across various areas of the West Bank. The club, in a statement issued on Saturday, disclosed that the total number of Palestinian prisoners in the West Bank has now reached 3,160 since the outset of the Zionist aggression on the Gaza Strip. The arrests were marked by reports of widespread abuse, severe beatings, field investigations, and cases of sabotage and destruction of citizens' homes. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, has issued a strong call to end what she termed as extremist violence in illegal settlements in the occupied West Bank. Speaking at a joint press conference with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in Canada on the sidelines of the European Union and Canada summit, von der Leyen welcomed the initiation of the temporary humanitarian truce. This truce facilitates the exchange of prisoners between the Palestinian resistance and the Zionist entity, signaling a potential step towards de-escalation in the region.
We must prevent violence from spreading, and therefore a peaceful coexistence is only possible with a two-state solution. We very much agree on that one. The Palestinian people and the Arab neighbors need the reassurance that there will be no forced displacement, but a viable perspective, with an independent Palestinian state, Gaza and West Bank reunited and governed by a reformed Palestinian Authority.
In a press conference following the announcement of the completion of the first phase of the prisoner exchange deal, President Joe Biden described the agreement between the Palestinian resistance and the Zionist entity as a beginning. He emphasized the existence of real opportunities to extend the humanitarian truce, expressing his expectation for the release of more detainees in the coming days. Biden's remarks underscore a cautious optimism surrounding the ongoing negotiations and efforts towards de-escalation in the region.
This morning, I've been engaged with my team as we began the first difficult days of implementing this deal. It's only a start, but so far it's gone well. Early this morning, 13 Israeli hostages were released, including an elderly woman, a grandmother, and mothers with their young children, some under the age of 6 years old. I've consistently pressed for a pause in the fighting for two reasons: to accelerate and expand humanitarian assistance going into Gaza, and two, to facilitate the release of hostages.
The American president also reaffirmed his support for the humanitarian truce agreement, emphasizing the critical importance of delivering emergency aid and life-saving supplies to those in need.
More than 200 trucks arrived at the crossing point in Egypt into Gaza today. These trucks carry food and medicine, as well as fuel and cooking gas. The fuel will be used not only to power the trucks delivering this life-saving supplies, but for desalinization, for water wells, for hospitals, and for bakeries. And hundreds more trucks are getting in position as well, ready to enter Gaza over the coming days to support the innocent Palestinians who are suffering greatly because of this war.
South African Foreign Minister Naledi Pandor has announced that her country is formally submitting a petition to the International Court of Justice, urging the classification of Israel as an apartheid entity. According to local media reports citing Pandor, South Africa and Palestine are actively collaborating on the formulation of procedures to bring the Palestinian issue before both the International Criminal Court and the International Court of Justice, with the specific aim of declaring Israel an apartheid entity. This move aligns with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa's previous call on the International Criminal Court to investigate the practices of the Zionist occupation in Palestine, characterizing them as genocidal war crimes. On Saturday, cities across the globe resonated with demonstrations vehemently condemning the Zionist occupation's aggression against the Palestinian people and expressing unwavering solidarity with their cause. This global surge underscores the widespread demand for justice and peace for the Palestinian people. Salman Asib reports.
The resounding call for justice and an enduring peace in Gaza reverberates across the globe as pro-Palestinian demonstrators flood the streets of major cities. In the heart of London, A tidal wave of tens of thousands surges through central thoroughfares, a diverse tapestry of ages and backgrounds, carrying banners proclaiming ceasefire now and stop the war on Gaza. This human river, peacefully winding its way towards the iconic Houses of Parliament, paints a vivid picture of a collective plea for a permanent end to the occupation and the dismantling of the Zionist entity government.
It's not enough because as they're releasing Palestinian children, which we have to first of all ask why Palestinian children were imprisoned anyway, they're also equally arresting Palestinian children at the same time in the West Bank. So there's no stop. There's almost just the turnover is continuing. It's important to come out because we shout Free Palestine, and I think we all believe that isn't a statement, but it's a promise that we have to follow through on.
Across continents, in Yemen's capital Sana'a, a multitude of voices rise in harmony, rallying in unwavering support of Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. The Palestinian flag dances in the wind as thousands shout pro-Palestinian slogans, echoing a global sentiment against oppression.
Our first and central cause in Palestine, and we will not give up standing for this cause. And we're ready to offer financial, moral and psychological support with our funds, tools, sons, weapons to face the enemy's arrogance, the American and Israeli arrogance against this Muslim people.
In the city of Paris, a march initially staged for the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women morphs into a powerful platform for pro-Palestinian activists and various other groups.
And Nutud has communicated to condemn, of course, the human rights violation and the gender-based violence perpetrated against any kind of civilians in Gaza.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, the streets of Chicago and Los Angeles pulsate with the rhythmic steps of pro-Palestinian demonstrators, timed to coincide with the frenzied Black Friday sales. These gatherings carry a unique purpose, shaming shoppers at stores accused of supporting the Zionist entity. In these bustling urban landscapes, the call for justice mingles with the cacophony of consumerism, a stark reminder that the fight for a free Gaza transcends borders and spans every corner of the globe.
Overnight, from Saturday to Sunday, Ukraine declared the successful downing of 71 Russian drones in what Kiev authorities dubbed the largest such attack on the capital since the onset of the war. Simultaneously, the Russian Ministry of Defense reported on Saturday that it thwarted 6 attacks by Ukrainian forces along the Kubyansk axis in Kharkov province, located in eastern Ukraine. Here's Sofiane Kinturi with more.
A symphony of sirens wailed through the air, piercing the tranquility of the Ukrainian capital, Kiev, and echoing across several provinces, as Russian forces unleashed what Kiev termed the most extensive air assault since the inception of the war between these two neighboring nations. Reports indicate that Russia aimed its onslaught at critical Ukrainian nerve centers, striking energy facilities, communication hubs, and weapons depots with relentless precision. The Ukrainian air defense system found itself outmatched, failing to thwart the majority of threatening drones that darkened the skies.
It is known that there is a deficit with air defense in Kiev, but there are cities in Ukraine that have significant problems with air defense. As of today, I can't say the details of what we are making and where, but there is progress. We count on our partners and ourselves. This is regarding our defense systems.
On the ground, Kiev scrambled to mount a rapid response to the Russian shelling. The Russian Ministry of Defense disclosed its successful repulsion of 6 Ukrainian offensives along the Kupyansk axis. Additionally, the ministry claimed the downing of 2 MiG-29 fighter jets and the interception of more than 18 drones.
on the Kupiansk axis. Our troops repelled 6 attacks from Ukrainian assault groups in several directions. The tactical operational aviation coup, drones, missile forces, and artillery groups of Russia also destroyed Ukrainian military personnel and equipment in 115 regions.
As the crisis in Ukraine stretches into its 21st month, with strong Western backing for Kiev, a worrying revelation emerged from a British newspaper. It reported that Washington and Berlin, in strategic move, are poised to exert pressure on Ukraine by curbing arms shipments. This strategic pivot, seen as a significant blow to Kiev's aspirations, aims to compel negotiations with Russia. The reduction in military support, a potential diplomatic gambit, casts shadows on Kiev's hopes of enticing Moscow to the negotiating table under its conditions to cease the protracted conflict.
All right, for more news, let's follow the news brief.
In a diplomatic rendezvous, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi engaged with his French counterpart, Catherine Colonna, in Beijing on Friday. Wang advocated for the sustained planning and coordination of 3 pivotal dialogue mechanisms between China and France, encompassing the realms of strategy, economic and financial ties, and people-to-people exchanges, emphasizing the need for fresh impetus in their collaboration. Both ministers charted a course towards deepening and expanding practical cooperation. Tunisian Interior Minister Kamal Faki convened with Libyan counterpart Imad Trablsi and Italy's Matteo Piantedosi on Friday to tackle the pressing issue of illegal immigration. The trio pledged joint coordination to secure borders and combat the crisis, stressing the urgency of finding solutions. They advocated for the voluntary repatriation of migrants and their reintegration within development frameworks facilitated by the European Union. Amid denouncements of irregularities by the opposition, Madagascar's incumbent president, Andry Rajoelina, clinched victory in the first round of the elections that transpired on the 16th of this month. Authorities reported that Rajoelina secured approximately 59% of the votes, reaffirming his mandate for another term. In the realm of sports, USM Algiers is poised to re-enter the group stage of the African Confederation Cup, facing off against Libyan club Al Hilal on Sunday at the 5 July Stadium, buoyed by memories of past triumphs. The Algerian club seeks a strong start in the group stage to remain a contender in the title race. Their aspirations are fueled by previous victories of the CAF Cup and the African Super Cup during the last season.
Well, we reached the end of our program. Thank you for watching and take care.